After recently giving birth to her third child, Jackie decided to take her family to dinner. While they were sitting at the table and enjoying the meal, she had a strange feeling. She decided to step away for a moment to use the restroom. On the way back to the table, she saw their waitress present her husband with a note and became very upset. Jackie didn't realize that a relaxing family night could turn out this way. What happened here? Was there a cause for concern? Could she do anything about it? Before we start, can we get this video to 1,000 likes? Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Jackie didn't want to start drama and have a fight in the restaurant right then, but she just could not let it go away. She wanted badly to say something to her husband about it. Therefore, she demanded to see that note from the waitress. Jackie had been in the U.S. Army for a few years in the past. Therefore, no one wanted to mess with her, and she definitely didn't take sneaking around lightly. Outside Army life, she was a devoted mother and wife to her family. Though Jackie tried to keep her tough face on at all times, she became hysterical when the waitress gave the note to her husband. Jackie tried looking nice whenever they went out. She knew her husband was attractive, and women were always looking at him in public. Jackie understood that her husband was handsome and noticed that other ladies looked at him when they went out. This was normal, and she tried to brush it off because she knew deep down he only loved her. However, she couldn't ignore the waitress's looks throughout the night. Though the couple loved each other, Jackie had noticed that their relationship was different now. Having kids changes a woman's body, and she didn't have the same physical or mental capabilities as before. Her husband had noticed it too. Lately, Jackie had been feeling unsure about their marriage. She wondered if she should say something and was now considering it even more because of the action of the waitress. Usually, she ignored the insecure feelings, but tonight, they were at the front of her mind. Jackie and her husband Tom knew they were overdue to have a date night. Since she had just had their third child recently, they decided to take their growing family out to dinner to enjoy a family fun moment. When they got to the restaurant, the newborn baby immediately started crying. Jackie knew he was hungry and chose to feed him at the table instead of going to the car or restroom. People normally stared when she did this, but the waitress was actually looking at her strangely. None of the stares and comments made Jackie stop feeding her baby. However, the waitress was looking at her differently than anyone else had. In the past, Jackie heard people making comments or saw them staring as she breastfed in public. Therefore, this was nothing new for her third child. However, she ignored everyone and kept feeding, as she felt there was nothing unnatural about her actions. Soon, Jackie noticed the waitress looking at her for a while and suddenly felt uncomfortable. Had this woman never witnessed a woman breastfeeding before? When Jackie got up to use the bathroom, her husband motioned to the waitress to receive the bill. Therefore, as Jackie got up, the waitress started walking to their table. She handed Tom a note, but what did it say? Naturally, Jackie assumed that the note wasn't important to them. He might toss it aside or crumple it up. However, he actually did something unthinkable when he took his phone out of his pocket. She felt that she was in a nightmare and could not believe he did that. At the time, Jackie was heartbroken and could not help how she felt. She was worried that her husband didn't love her after the toll her body took to have 3 kids. Her heart was racing, and she was trying to figure out what was happening in front of her. What could she do? The disheartening fact in all of this was that her husband grabbed his phone to put something in it. Was it the waitress's phone number? Did he put it in the contact list? Jackie returned to the table, demanded to see the note, and started crying. It turned out that their waitress offered the couple a discount that wasn't part of any promotion from the restaurant. Jackie's mind was racing. Was this just a way for the waitress to flirt with Tom? She was shocked since she was only away from the table for a brief moment. Why was the waitress offering her hubby a discount? On the note, the waitress talked about Jackie's choice to breastfeed at the table. Though the mother was used to people whispering and pointing, she was shocked that someone could be as bold as to make comments like that in writing. Jackie sat low in her seat and was overcome by tears. She couldn't help it after reading the letter, even though she was now inspired and felt powerful. She just never believed something like this could happen to her. Jackie was feeling a very emotional response and decided to post on social media about the situation. She realized that the controversy of public breastfeeding was there, but she couldn't believe the comments she received from her Facebook friends. She started the post by explaining that she'd breastfed her 3 children in different places. Some were unpleasant, and others were better. Sometimes she chose to do it discreetly. She claimed to have gotten many looks and stares, but tonight had erased the negativity from before. The waitress was a young woman named Bodhi. She'd been working in the food service industry for a while and noticed how people looked at women who chose public breastfeeding. Generally, strangers did it the most. Though Bodhi wasn't a mother and didn't have the experience of public breastfeeding, she was upset as she noticed strangers judging the woman for feeding her baby. She wrote a note on the bill saying she had paid for a pizza and for Tom to thank his wife for breastfeeding. Jackie admits openly that her mind immediately went to the worst-case scenario. She believed her husband took his phone to put in the waitress's phone number. What Jackie did next was unexpected. Tom wanted to take a picture of the note to forever remember the moment. When Jackie found out what happened, she did too. Everyone on her Facebook account was leaving comments for both women, and all of them were amazing and heartwarming. With the efforts of Bodhi and Jackie, they started a great conversation that ended up helping people talk about breastfeeding. Jackie wanted nothing more than to feed her infant in peace without strange looks or whispers. That's what all breastfeeding moms crave. Though breastfeeding is normal and natural, people frown on it when it happens in public. Therefore, it's uncommon for moms to get smiles or reassuring comments. Bodhi commented later that she saw Jackie was nursing and was so happy she did it. Not long after, Jackie returned to that pizza restaurant to thank Bodhi. She didn't have to be told that breastfeeding was right, but it felt good to hear it. It's amazing how women can empower each other. The couple had a positive interaction with Bodhi. From there, the family grew stronger and healthier. Jackie believed it was time to post more about public breastfeeding, and everyone liked it. Bodhi didn't realize that one small kindness could mean so much to Jackie and Tom. She ended up changing Jackie's life immensely that day and changed her own as well. One small act of kindness can go a very long way.